Grandview head football coach Mike Woodley joins us. An exciting win over St. Francis this past Saturday. A senior day with Iowa Wesleyan coming up this Saturday. Let's talk about the Fighting Saints, Mike. Quick starts are always a key in the game, and obviously get out to a 16-0 lead in that first half was a really good thing.
Yeah, it really was, Jeff. And we have this year, for some reason, we have notoriously been a slow starting team, but the kids came out. I was a little concerned, prior to the game, the way we warmed up. We were pretty quiet, and I said to Coach Zook, I said, "Man, I don't know, are we ready?" And Coach Zook says, "It's just the quiet before the storm," he said. So I think he was right. But we got off to a great start, other than we received the ball and throw a pick, right off the bat and give them all kinds of momentum there on our 35-yard line. But the defense went out and bowed their backs and held them to a field goal attempt, which was critical, and then they missed it. So, we did get off to a great start, but then we didn't. When you look at what our offense did, we went right out and turned it over. But we overcame that adversity, and obviously we played pretty well the rest of that first half.
Well, it was a great day for the defense, scoring 2 touchdowns, and you mentioned the stop after Derek threw the pick in the third play from scrimmage, but the defense picked the team up, and it was the defense's day.
It really was, Jeff. I just applaud my defensive staff. They put together a great game plan, and the kids went out and executed it. Our kids were running around out there with their hair on fire. They were playing so hard. And, again, that's my hat's off to that defensive staff and those defensive players, because they were ready to play, and they played the whole day.
What did you see from the return by Josh Monsivai, and then the interception to lead the third quarter by Broderick Patton?
Well, obviously, anytime you score, with your defense, you got to feel good about that. And in particular, we were up 6-0 when Josh picked the ball up and scored. But boy, that was a huge play at the time and put us up 13-0. And we're feeling pretty good because the way our defense had been playing. But the thing, you're playing the #1 offensive team in the league, and they're very, very dangerous, big playmakers all over, and they can cut into that lead real quick. But that was a huge touchdown. And then we talked at halftime about kicking off, getting a 3-and-out, and hopefully get the offense on the field right away and take it down and put a touchdown in and go up 23-0. Well, the defense remedied that with Broderick's big pick. It was huge, and a pick 6 on top of that, and then you go up 23-0. You got to start feeling pretty good with a half to go.
I know in the first half you had to feel that you left some points off the board.
Yeah.
16-0, and you had 2 really good opportunities to put up 2 touchdowns and really maybe salt the game away in the first half.
Well, you're right, and I think we turned the ball over. We turned the ball over 4 times in this game, and to still come out on top, again, is a tribute to our kids and their resiliency. But we didn't. We didn't take advantage of 2 opportunities. One, we had a fumble down there, I think we picked up 8-9 yards on the play and fumble. And then right there with 2 or 3 minutes to go in the half, we got 4th and goal. Actually, we only needed about a half a yard to get a first down right down there. And, we go for it on 4th down, and I take complete responsibility for that. I was assuming we were running the ball, and we threw the ball, and that's not what I wanted. And but it's water over the dam, and we didn't take advantage on those 2 opportunities.
Got really good pressure all day on E.J. White. That was huge.
Well, the last 2 years we've played East St. Francis, they've been huge games, and he's the top offensive player in our league. And for some reason, our kids have played so well against him and have rattled him. And we had a lot of pressure. Even when we didn't get a sack, we were in his face. And he couldn't scramble. He didn't make any plays with his feet, not even one. And that's, again, another tribute to our defense, where we hemmed him in and stayed after him and didn't let him do the things that he can do well, and that's both run and pass. So very pleased with that effort. Okay,
Iowa Wesleyan this Saturday, a senior day at Williams Stadium for the Vikings. Kevin McConnell, kind of in the same mold statistic-wise as E.J. White, lots of yards, total offense for both of those guys, and Kevin McConnell just about equal.
Well, he's been a thorn in our side, you know, last year in particular over there when we beat him 35-28. He's a handful. He's just like E.J. White. He can make plays with his feet. He's probably a little better passer. He just doesn't have the people around him to make him as good as E.J. But he's every bit as good as any quarterback in our league.
And also Ridge Hobbs, the big receiver, he's got half of their touchdown receptions. The team has 22 touchdown passes. He has 11 receptions.
Well, he's a good player. I mean, that's what he is. He's a big, wide-bodied wide receiver, and they get him one-on-one, he's going to win a 50-50 deal. So, you know, we've got to be very aware of where he's at, especially when they get in the red zone, and he's an outstanding receiver.
Vikings are 3-1 all-time against Iowa Wesleyan. For the most part, this has been a pretty competitive series, aside from the game here 2 years ago where Grandview set a school record with 73 points and winning 73-6. But it's been a pretty good series through the first 4 years.
Yeah, it really has, Jeff. I don't think there's any love lost between the two programs. It's kind of like William Penn. You know, they're just close down the road. It makes for kind of a natural rivalry for us, and I don't see it being any different. I mean, if we don't come and play like we're capable of playing, again, we're not going to roll our helmet out and win a football game without going out and playing with great effort. And that's what we're going to have to do to beat Iowa Wesleyan. You
mentioned the game last year, winning 35-28 in Mount Pleasant. It was actually turned out to be a pretty pivotal game of the season because the Vikings were close to making the playoffs, and that was a game that could have went either way.
Well, as all these games in the league, every one of them counts. And when the league is so balanced like it is, that one loss against somebody who you think you should have beaten, but you didn't get it done, can come back to haunt you later on. So that was a huge game. Obviously, they made it close there at the end. We could have put the ball game away, and then we didn't on a fourth down play at their end, and they turned around and threw a 60, 70-yard screen pass and scored. And we were up 35-21 at the time, and then before you know it, it's 35-28, and there's still a lot of time left because they scored so quickly, kind of like what St. Francis did too.
How's the health of the team out of the game?
We're probably, you know, as good as we've been in a long time. Our two safeties, Terrell Lloyd and Joe Musselman, are still out, but with the return of O.J. and Gladfelder back to just about 100%, you know, you got to feel pretty good about where we're at. Randy Brigham sat the game out. He should be ready to go this week, high ankle sprain. We'll find that out this week in practice. But other than that, I think we're in pretty good shape. We're like everybody. Everybody's got guys beat up. Everybody's got guys that are not in the lineup or just returning to the lineup and things like that. So, you know, a long season, you get into the 10th game of the year like we are right now. Everybody has bumps and bruises. None of us have any excuses.
And finally, Mike, why don't you recognize the seniors on this year's team?
Well, it's quite a group, you know, and we've got, what do we got, 14, 15 of them, and you know, off the top of my head now, you're going to be testing me here.
No, you don't have to give them all out. They know who they are.
But it's been a really, really good group of kids. This group, since they have been here, have won around 30 football games, and that's with a few to go yet in this season. And again, that's a tribute to them, and each and every one of them has contributed somewhere along the way in the last 4 years, whether it be just on special teams or just on our scout team, a couple, but it's a really good, resilient group. I call it the resiliency of this team. It's typified by this senior class. They're tough, they're emotional, hard-working guys, and obviously we're going to really miss these guys.
All right, Mike, 2 games left in the season. We'll start with Saturday, Iowa Wesleyan. Finish strong.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Head coach Mike Woodley.